Today's interview is sponsored by Jazz in the Gardens Music Fest. For more information, please click the link in our description. Miss Alexandra Davis, currently Commissioner Seat 4 for the proud City of Miramar, has an extensive public service record. Born in England and raised in Jamaica, she received her Bachelor of Science Degree from the University of the West Indies at their Mona campus. She served as Vice Mayor of Miramar in 2013 and 2019. Ms. Davis has won a plethora of awards, too many to mention in this introduction, but she has been called one of South Florida's 100 most accomplished Caribbean Americans by ICABA World Network. She has spearheaded many community initiatives, including the Guns for Funds campaign. Ms. Davis, welcome to our program.
Thank you so much, Janet. I got
Thank
that
you
right.
for being
Okay.
yeah.
Good to be here.
Okay, it's wonderful to have
Today.
you. Okay, well, first, I must say I love your motto. Putting you first keeps us first. I love it. Okay, we all do.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Davis, our first question, okay? Your efforts to foster diversity in the Miramar community ultimately led to the creation of the AfroCaribbean Festival, now in its third year. The event will be held February 25th, and it coincides with Reggae Month and Black History Month. Can you tell us a little bit more about the festival and how it brings together the many Caribbean cultures in the Miramar community?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. And so with it being February, which is Black History Month, and most recently to me, I learned about Reggae Month, and I decided that it's a good synergy. Reggae music has, it's around the world in every way, shape, or form. Our music that we know now, which is hip hop, reggaeton is out of that, Afro beats. And so reggae really is a world-renowned music. And a lot of the struggles that Black folk have been through and go through is really talked about in our music, from Bob Marley to Peter Tosh to all those roots reggae artists. And so bringing everything to bear at the AfroCaribbean Festival is something that I've wanted to do. We dubbed the month actually Black History Meets Reggae. So there's a message in the music, and we showcase reggae, which this year we have our headliner, Coffee. We showcase reggaeton. We have an artist out of Cuba called Jacob Forever. We have Afro beats, which we have techno out of Nigeria. And we also put in a little compa because, of course, Haiti is our first Black republic. We want to pay homage to them with their music.
Yes, great. Absolutely. Okay, so during your second tenure as Vice Mayor in 2019, you successfully implemented the use of body-worn cameras for the Miramar Police Department. What were the challenges you encountered re-proposing and implementing this program?
Yes, and of course, Janet, this was before the reckoning that we had with George Floyd and the other police killings that took place and the marches in 2020. But I knew from back in 2014, when I first proposed it, that this was the way to go. We needed to make sure that folks who are being stopped by our police have a record of it, because a lot of the times I used to get complaints of people filming their stop with their cameras and in their phones, and they were told not to film the stop, So there was not an appetite for body-worn cameras in the police department back then in 2015, 2014. But I knew coming back to office 2019 that that's something that I was going to push for. I got petitions signed by the residents. Most residents thought it was just a standard thing that everybody had it. They thought that the cars, at least when you watch the show Cops, most cars have that camera in the vehicle. We didn't have the cameras in the vehicle, and we didn't have the body cameras on our person. Now, that could not continue. And so in my first 30 days, in fact, of getting elected, I brought it back up to the commission, and they agreed to fund it. I think the challenge was that the police themselves and their unions didn't want it. They didn't want body-worn cameras. And that's not unusual, because really they think that Big Brother is looking over them, or the departments, whoever their bosses are looking at them. But at the end of the day, it actually helps them as well
As well.
as it helps the residents and visitors to
Protects the
the city.
citizens, yeah.
Absolutely. And so now if you ask any of them now, police officers, they're glad they have it. You know
Yeah.
why? Because when people lie, which they do on these traffic
Yeah.
stops, they can tell their sergeant to pull the
Yeah.
record of it.
It's a good thing on both ends. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so now everybody's raving about it. In fact, now we have some of our code enforcement officers with body-worn cameras as well.
Wonderful.
And it's
Yes.
a tool that protects everybody.
Yeah, that was great. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Okay. All right. Well, you also pushed for the adoption of the 8 can't wait policy for the city's police department.
Yes, what happened, and this was after all these killings, that we realized there was an issue with police officers who stand around and watch crimes being committed on our citizens and say and do nothing. So
Yes.
part of that 8 can't wait that was missing was the duty to intervene. So you don't get a pass because you show up and see somebody else brutalizing a citizen. You have to intervene, you have to let somebody know, and don't just watch, which
Oh
is
my
what happened
God.
with the George
As
Floyd
with George
incident.
Floyd, yes.
Exactly. So now it's part of our policy that you must intervene.
Great. It sounds wonderful. Okay. Well, on January 15th, you partnered with the Broward Sheriff's Office and the City of West Park to conduct the city's Guns for Funds drive. This program allows residents from all over Broward to turn in old or unwanted firearms for money. Can you explain to our viewers how this gun buyback program works?
Certainly. So the gun buyback program, obviously, you know, the gun issues are top of mind. The gun lobbyists will not allow for any very few changes to gun laws, but the little that we can do that we should do. And so a lot of times you have widowers that are left with guns in their homes that they have no need for, and they need a way to just dispose of it safely. And this helps with that, because should there be a break-in into their home and the guns are just there lying around, it could get into the wrong hands.
Right.
So what we do, we normally have these Guns for Funds events at churches. It's completely anonymous. No questions are asked. You turn in the firearm. We check the firearm, but we don't know who turned it in. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So the
yes,
police
it's
check the firearm.
anonymous.
Exactly. And then once there's no issue with it, they melt it down, or they give it to a BSO actually melts them down and gets rid of the firearm. So we get a lot of partnership through BSO, through Crime Watch, and other nonprofit organizations. Community access centers giving us gift cards to hand out. We have the League of Women Voters who comes and actually gives out gun locks, because clearly we're not against guns.
Yes.
Just want them to be in the
Be
right
safe.
hands.
Yes.
And to be safe. So they issue gun locks, and again, we take the guns from folks who don't want them, and we give them cash.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh
a
my
gift card
gosh.
for their guns. So it's something. And
Yes.
we're actually one of the few cities that consistently does it. I just did one last month, again at
You did.
a church in historic Miramar, and we took maybe close to 30 guns off the streets there. And you know, it's just a win-win for everybody.
Yes, it is. It is. Wonderful, wonderful program. Okay. Now, can you tell us about some of the other initiatives you are involved in? Well, of particular interest is Miramar's tree trimming assistance program.
Yes, that's always a good one. On the campaign trail in 2019, I had a lot of folks who, you know, had issues with their trees encroaching on their property, and it is expensive, especially for our elderly, to be able to get someone to come and cut and trim the trees down. And so we decided through the commission, when I brought it forth, they agreed to set aside some funding. And what happens is that when developers come into the city, they have to put money to our tree trust fund if they're going to uproot some trees and we plant trees elsewhere. But what we do, we have that fund, and from that fund, we can assist residents, I think to the tune of up to $750 to trim their tree.
Wow,
So
yeah.
that's been very helpful, heavily utilized, and we're glad to provide that service to our residents, and they can, you know, go on our website or call 602-HELP, 954-602
Okay.
HELP.
So it's just for Miramar residents then, right?
Yes,
Oh
because it's
my
from
God.
our pot of money that we
Oh,
have.
it's a shame. We should have that in every city. Oh my
I
God.
know
Yeah,
they gotta do their jobs,
yeah,
people.
it is.
Uh,
Well, okay. Well, can you also tell us about the nonprofit you formed in 2015, the Caribbean American
yes,
Teachers Association of Florida?
absolutely. Well, the nonprofit, even though I'm not actively doing stuff in the nonprofit since I've got elected, it's really does take time to really get into it. But as a certified teacher myself, I felt the need to develop this nonprofit
Yeah.
to assist teachers and students. So teachers who may need supplies, which was always an issue when we start up the school year. That was the aim of this organization, which again, I haven't gone too much into it since I've gotten
Yeah,
elected with in terms of time. But
right.
spirit of having been a teacher myself, I know the needs of teachers and students. And so I keep it active, even though I'm not currently working in that.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Commissioner, I remembered a couple of years back you were, I think you were instrumental in creating this shopping plaza along historic Miramar. Do you remember
The
that?
redesign of B&M.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
the redesign. Yes.
yes,
Okay.
because what happens, we have money, generally there's federal money to do facade improvement. So even though it's an older plaza, you can actually change the look of the outside so
You
it looks
can.
modern, and
The
then you can take your
facade.
time, yes.
Yes.
So what happened with his side of the plaza, it didn't fall under the federal, they weren't doing that area yet. It wasn't in the zone. So we as
Okay.
a city decided to put money aside to make sure that that plaza looks just like the rest of the plaza.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how B&M's plaza that he owns, because you have to be the owner of it,
Okay.
receive the grant money. And that's what we did there. So there's a lot more redevelopment coming up in the historic neighborhoods. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things we're doing there is we're repurposing a park. We're changing the park to be on the other side of the street and then using the park space to build townhomes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Huh,
these
okay.
townhomes, because as you notice, if you look around, most of the new developments are apartments for rental.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and we're
Mm-hmm.
like, well,
I've been
people need
seeing
an
that.
opportunity to own homes. So what
Yes.
we've done, we've partnered with a nonprofit on our land. We're going to be building several of them. I don't have the quite have the number, but affordable townhomes for
Yes.
folks to purchase
Mm-hmm.
so that they will be able to
Great.
have the American dream like you and I,
Yes,
Yes,
everybody
important.
can partake.
Yes.
Okay, great. Commissioner Davis, can you tell us now more about the upcoming election next month where you're running unopposed for your seat?
Yes. So we have elections on in March of odd
Yes.
years. So 2023 and 2025, there's another one.
Yeah.
And so this cycle, it would have been me and the mayor running. In 2025, it's the other three commissioners. I've been fortunate that I have no opposition, and so I'm guaranteed my seat for another
Great.
4 years. But there is an election, and so folks need to ensure that they get
They go
their
out and vote.
vote by mail. What happened is that the vote by mail, because of the governor, laws changed, and now every 2 years you're going to reapply for your vote by mail. So
Okay.
now all those people that were able to vote by mail in previous years, they have to reapply. It's
Mm-hmm.
important that we get that news
To
out.
get that out to them.
If you don't reapply, you're not going to get it in the mail, and then you're going to think, well, why don't I have my vote by mail? Because you have to, it's wiped out now, and you have to reapply from scratch.
Okay, they need to know that. Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. One
Okay.
other thing I did want to mention, though, which I there's so much to talk about, but I know there's limited time, but I am very pleased about the ordinance that I brought forth with regards to art in public places.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
Yes,
And if you
I've seen
travel the
that.
way I do, yeah, I go to places like Chicago, and they have the Bean and so many great artwork on display for the general public, all free of
Mm-hmm.
cost, all around the city. And we didn't have that. And so now the move afoot is to get more art in public places.
Yes.
We have a fund set up so that anybody who's building in our community needs to add money to the fund, or place a piece of artwork on their property that's in view of the public.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so that's something that I'm really pleased about. And in doing so, we are also going to be erecting at our Anson Sports Center statue of Usain Bolt.
Oh, great.
It's going to be the very first statue of a Jamaican in the United States. And
Yeah.
he's worthy of it. And he's worthy of it at our Anson Sports Complex, which the track itself is made of Olympic material that was used in the Atlanta Games. And we have a lot of international meets there. And I thought that there's no better person to put there than a world-renowned athlete who's now retired, but had the most world records of the 100 meters, the fastest in the world.
Oh my God,
and
absolutely.
Just so happens
he deserves it.
Yes. And we're not going to shy away from that fact.
No,
there were critics talking about, well, why don't we put somebody else? Why don't we put somebody from the United States? Why don't we put this? Why don't we put that?
No.
The fact of the matter is, even though football is an American sport, it is not a worldwide sport.
Yes.
You know so athletics is
track
worldwide.
is, yeah.
And you are the best in the world, no doubt. You deserve a statue. And we're going to do that sometime in May. So we'll keep you posted on that.
That sounds wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. Okay. You know, I see you've been interviewing. I see a lot of interviews, you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing the interview on Channel 6.
Yes, with your straighter voices. Yeah. It's all about the month, you know. So we have, apart from the AfroCaribbean Festival that's taking place on February 25th at the amphitheater from 5 to 11 p.m. During that week, we also have on that Wednesday, the 22nd, the Reggae Icon Awards, where we're honoring Marcia Griffiths for her work, and also Winston Powell from the founder of Stone Love Movement. And in addition, the Marcus Garvey Award is going to Marlene Bastien, Haitian American, who's currently Miami-Dade County Commissioner. So, and this is a free event. We're looking forward to that. And then the Friday, the 24th, we're having a selector showdown, which involves very, you know, you're going to have the gamut when it comes to Reggae Month and Black History. So the Reggae Month component, we're having the selector showdown with DJ Fergie, DJ Ever Never, one other DJ that I have to remember. But it's going to be fun. That also is
sounds like it's going to be
a
smash.
Area. Yeah, so all these things you can find on our website, miramarfl.gov. miramarfl.gov to be involved.
Oh, great. Oh my gosh. Okay, it sounds great. Okay, well, one final question for you. What are your plans and proposed initiatives for the City of Miramar in 2023? And going forward, of course, after that.
Absolutely. And I have to think for a moment because there's so much that I've already accomplished.
Yes.
But again, we're going to erect the statue in 2023. Obviously do more for our residents in terms of housing, which we hope that the housing components, we've done a lot of work with private sector to make sure that any housing, even if it's apartments, we have some senior developments coming on stream, that they make sure they're affordable. So we're still working on that to make sure housing is affordable for our residents. What else can I think of? Continue to do what we do, which makes our city great. What can I tell you? I'm always coming up with ideas.
You are so accomplished. Oh my God, you've accomplished so much already.
Continue to do. I appreciate you asking though, but yeah, housing is a very important need. Our culture, making sure that we celebrate all cultures in Miramar, which we do.
Yes, we do.
Hispanic, Haitian, Jamaican, African American. We want people to love living here, to play here and raise their children here. So that's important to us as well.
Miramar, it's a premier city.
Absolutely. I call it the Black Mecca of the South, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Commissioner Davis, thank you for helping to educate our viewers in South Florida on the many initiatives you're leading. We're thrilled to be able to cover the festivities at the AfroCaribbean Festival next month, and we look forward to hearing more from you in 2023. So
Thank you.
can you please let our viewers know how they may obtain more information on the festival? I think you've already done that. But one more time, the festival is next month, February 25th.
Yes, we're in February now. This is the second. We had our launch yesterday.
Yeah,
So it is going to be February 25th from 5 to 11 p.m. You can get tickets which start at just $25. Very
yes,
reasonable to see
it
a
is.
Grammy nominated and Grammy award winning artist such as Coffee. And
Yes,
those can be had at our website,
Miramar.
AfroCaribbeanFest.com. AfroCaribbeanFest.Miramar.com.
Okay, great. I'll be there.
Hey, yay. Just let us know. Did you sign up to get a media pass? Because we have those online. Just go on the website and
Okay,
you'll be able to sign up to get the media.
will do, will do.
All right.
We'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
Was
Thank you
very
so
nice
much.
talking with you.
Same here. All the
Have a
best.
wonderful day today.
You too.